Ladies and gentlemen, this is internet personality Vangelus, here with a review of Sideways. Yes, I got it after it broke out, so I'm afraid that I have lost all chances to make hundreds of thousands of millions of billions of far too many jokes about this being a female Barricade or Barricade's cousin or Barricades, etc., etc. But I can show you the toy! It's a very pretty not an Audi. I believe car experts who know more than me about these sort of things have pointed out that various details have been left off of this alt mode so that it's not an Audi, but just looks a lot like one. One thing I really want to point out, though, and I don't really like pointing out paint that often, but this car mode is covered in really nice silver paint. This is on the level of a premium from the first movie, at least in terms of the alt mode. I'm sure many of you know that something has suffered to allow for this, but this seems to be a theme among the Revenge of the Fallen deluxes I've seen so far, where the paint apps focus more so on the alt mode than the robot mode. Is that good or bad? I don't know. And really, I have paints. I can fix it myself. But you may want to know that going in. Anyway, the transformation on this guy, and on many of the other deluxes, is quite intricate. I'm really impressed with it. A lot of stuff happens here. And it's actually, now that I have it in hand, I can see why it took so long for people to figure out a proper transformation, especially for this part. These wheels are on multi-hinged little things. This thing moves around. It's on a hinge that can flip like this, but the most solid way to do this is to peg this thing into here, and it gives you a decent and very sexy insectoid biped-like leg with this black piece coming over. I think mostly just for looks. There are other ways to do this. You can have the wheel facing this way. You can have it facing this way, but this way feels the least like you're stressing the toy's tolerances. Other ways, to me, feel a little bit too tight, as though I'm potentially going to snap the thing. He also has a bit of Automorph. Yes, Automorph. You push in the front of this thing, and you get a crotch! Yay! And if you push it in more, and use a bit of force, then eventually the wheels pop down. If you're holding it this way, sometimes this wheel won't flip up all the way. It's a little bit of friction, I think. But it's not bad, and then you do a bit of cheating, because these wheels go there, and then, oh look, the wheels are here now. I'm kind of surprised they had to cheat that, but I can see how it helps them fill out the inside of the stomach here. These doors, by the way, I don't know how they're supposed to go. There's detail sculpted on the inside. You can have them like this, but then they look kind of silly. I prefer them kind of swept back, but there's enough variance there in the ball joint to really just let you do whatever you want with them. And this whole part folds down and really solidly clips in place. Something that's really worth noting is that amidst all this hyper-intricate transformation where you think that pieces are going to be, you know, flopping all over the place, it's actually really amazingly solid. And going by videos I've seen of other deluxes from the first wave, I think that that's really a design keynote, is that these guys do really intricate transformations and everything locks in place. Even this thing locks in place. I thought it was going to just flop around back there. Now, the end results, you know, they're up to you, eye of the beholder and all that, but you can't fault the engineering. The engineering on these guys is really impeccable, no matter what the aesthetic is. Now, there's one detail here that I loved. Sideways has poseable breasts. Yes, these are on a swivel back hinge, and then a ball joint, so you can actually have his breasts emote. So I just like putting them like this because it makes them look a lot different. And not to be, you know, a bandwagoner, but the movie design aesthetic does make this look a little bit more natural if they're kind of just sticking out in a direction that makes it look like they've moved a bit. And this guy, standing him up can be a bit of a trick. You have to do the insectoid biped leg thing, because if you don't, these are very tiny, and I just can't take him seriously with those as his feet. But if you use the wheels as heels, and you rhyme every time, then he'll stand up pretty well. You kind of have to finagle a little bit. That's the unfortunate thing I've found with the two deluxes I've messed with so far, is that for all their excellent engineering, they actually are not that solid standing up on a desk. And that really was one of the high points of a lot of the animated and universe designs, was just how well they stood. This whole Bugwing look, and the way the face is designed, really, you can't fault people for thinking this was Barricade for a while. It looks like it. But it does make for a really cool look overall. You get this kind of, I guess you could say, Insecticon look. I know that the bio may or may not have harkened back to Kickback, the Insecticon dude. And I really like how this looks, actually. Getting it in person, I didn't think I'd like this toy very much at first, and then the more pictures I saw, the more I started to fall for it, and then eventually I grew to really like the toy. Also worth pointing out that while the paint apps are sparse on the robot mode, there are some really nice ones. Like on the head, I really love the way that the head was painted. It looks really, really nice. Unfortunately, the rest of the body doesn't really follow suit that well, but I just want to showcase this for you a little bit. It's just pretty. And has decent light piping with pink eyes. Now, there is something, though, that I will point out is not really liking. It's that for all that wonderful paint detail I just pointed out, you also have the giant, unpainted fire crotch. All this sculpted detail in here, tons of it. There's sculpted detail there, there's sculpted detail under the pectoral there. There's also detail all over the arms that's not painted. Between his two arms, he has paint on 3 left fingers and this wheel. These fingers, however, he apparently didn't stick in a disc sander, and he has a buzzsaw on there that's not painted at all. Clearly it's supposed to be a transformed wheel. So it looks like the paint apps really suffered on the robot mode, but the compromise is you get the premium level paint apps on the alt mode. Now, whether or not that puts you on or off the toy, I'll leave up to you. Personally, I can see where the sacrifice came in, but I still kind of wish something could have been done on here. There's so much detail here. I'm going to do some detail work on this guy myself eventually, but I wanted to show you him, you know, stock, pretty much. He also has Mecha Alive, the new movie gimmick, where when you move his arm, his elbow rotates! It's really not all that exciting, I'm afraid. I know that there are pretty cool Mecha Alive features out there on other toys, and the nice thing about this is that this is really unintrusive, but that's all it does. Whee! Ladies and gentlemen, the engineering advance of 2009. Anyway, the posability on this guy is actually fairly good. The head's on a slightly limited ball joint. He's got fully posable arms and a single joint on the elbow, but it works like a double joint, which really helps. Waist joint and fully posable legs. Now, I mean, you do have to finagle these a bit to get them to stand, but this also means that you get a lot of posing room on the knee here. And it's, overall, I actually really like this toy. I went in thinking I wouldn't like him. I kind of got turned on to him by the photo galleries and the videos, and then when I got him in hand, this actually became my favorite deluxe I've messed with so far. Well, out of 2, admittedly, but really excellent toy. I was surprised. Very solid, but if you're not into the movie aesthetic, you are gonna hate this toy, because this is what it looks like. It looks like a movie bot. Personally, I can deal with it. I think that this guy pulls off the look really well. I love the delicious insectoid biped legs. And once I do some extra paint touch-up, I think he's going to look fabulous. So, overall, I gotta say, I love this toy. I'd recommend this toy to anyone that likes the movie look. If you don't like the movie look, I would say skip him. You will not be won over. If you're not seeing anything you like in this image here, you're not seeing anything that's going to change your mind. Your mind will stay as it is. If you're not into the movie look, this is definitely a toy to skip. But when it comes out, I think it's going to be great, and you can't fault the complexity of the engineering and the solidness of the engineering and the way that everything clicks into place and nothing flops around, which just amazes me. I thought this was going to be a mess when I got it, and I was proven wrong, and I'm happy about it. This has been Internet Personality Vangelus, and I hope you've enjoyed this review. I hope it's been informative. And I hope to provide a few more looks into this toy line as time goes on, especially since they're going to be for sale at BotCon, and I'm probably going to, well, overspend. Because I'm silly, and I'm a fanboy. Anyway, I'll see you guys later. Take care.
It's Barricade! And Ashley Cade!
That's right, these lovable twins have gotten themselves into another rambunctious adventure!
Aw, now that we're legal, I just don't know what to do anymore, Ashley Cade. Tee-hee-hee! I'll just add more hot wax to your supple fender. Tee-hee-hee! Tee-hee-hee!
You kids better come back here with my ancient Chinese secrets!
It's Barricade and Ashley Cade in
Fist of China.
Sis, I think he knows it's us.